Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, guys, welcome back. It is currently almost the end of the year. We're gonna wrap it up. It's
Almost
gonna
the end of
be
the year,
awesome.
guys.
Yeah, it's what December
8th.
28th currently as we're recording this, but y'all won't see this until later, which actually that made no sense because this is gonna come out.
Whoa, actually, you're right.
Yeah, like after this would come out technically after New Year.
After New Year's,
So
guys.
happy
Yeah.
New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year's. It's
Happy
actually super good.
holidays. Yeah. So well, Mario, we're
That's
fucking.
it, guys.
Yeah, man, just it. That's it. Happy New Year's. That's all we have to say.
No, but it definitely, there's a lot to reflect on. I think a lot of exciting things for the new year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Crazy to be having another year on Society Sucks already, guys.
Yeah, we've been here since 2020, I believe, right?
Whoa,
So
that's
we're about to hit
mind blowing, guys.
2023.
That's mind blowing.
Wow. Yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching and supporting and sharing all of our episodes and giving us feedback and following the pages and rating us and
supporting.
all that good stuff, guys. So yeah, we're just really here to express our gratitude and to let y'all know how we feel about that. So, we're looking forward to a lot of good changes this 2023 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Mario have a lot of stuff planned, more guests, more great stuff.
Oh, man, it's gonna be a lot of fun for
Yeah.
sure. I'm excited for the type of people that we meet in the upcoming year. That's one of my things to look forward to for the new year.
Yeah.
Because guests really, they're just the funnest thing.
Yeah, we want to emphasize guests for sure in our interviews, and
Mhm.
we learn a lot. Hopefully, y'all learn a lot, and I mean that's definitely the most fun part about podcasting is getting to have these conversations with interesting people.
Honestly, I think it's our little excuse to connect with just great people.
Literally, yeah.
Yes.
No, literally, because we might as well record the conversation while we're at it. Like we want to do it anyway, so might as well record it. Um, but yeah, because this episode is a lot on gratitude, we always emphasize gratitude. Going back to gratitude. Um, so Mario, what gratitude practices do you have for our friends here as they start off the new year?
Whoa, gratitude practices.
Oh. That's one right
Guys,
there.
first
Breathe,
off-
ground yourself presently, right?
Yeah. Me intentionally breathing right now is a form of gratitude.
That every breath should not be taken for granted, and that you should do something with each of your capabilities.
Oh, very true. Oh man. Okay. Things that I actually am and how you'd practice it is being mindful of your breath, right? Taking time to go outside and be in nature. I don't know. Depends where you guys are from, right? Around here, it's getting cold. I think it started snowing recently.
Yeah.
So it's just really about emphasizing, some sort of gratitude practice, no matter the season, too.
Yeah.
Because I guess, for us, it'd be a little more difficult to be like, go in nature and express gratitude. Because it has a form of grounding for sure.
Yeah.
Because, we kind of don't want to be outside because it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Like, too cold. But,
Yeah.
either way, some say layer up, or something.
That's true too.
But we're
Step
not going to say
outside.
that, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think, Harvey? Let me know, please.
Start a little fire and wrap
there you
yourself
go.
around it,
Well, there you go.
and you're grateful already, just like that.
Actually, that's very true.
Right? Do stuff like that, switch it up a little. There's always something to be grateful for, even if your weather's not the best, even if your situation's not the best. There's something out there, and you know, you can be grateful inside your head. That's one thing, and the other thing is actually expressing the gratitude, and making actions from your gratitude. And so that's a conversation me and Mario had yesterday about like the difference, a formula to it.
Yes,
So,
and I think this is good that you're mentioning this because I feel like this really impacted ways to lead into action. I probably told this to Harvey because we were just having this conversation too about how, you always tend to hear, take action like quickly and fast, right? Usually people say. And then people ask the question like, okay, what is quick action? What even is like what action could I be taking possibly? And I think we kind of came up with a little step by step kind of leading into action in form of using that gratitude energy that you have to be the momentum factor for you to start doing new things.
Yeah, because it's like you gotta ask yourself like what kind of action do you even want to take, and what should even lead you towards taking action. Because some people want to say that they don't care or that they're indifferent to things, and I believe we all care about the same things. It's just some people want to have that excuse, so that as an excuse for them not to pursue what they want to change, to not make a change in their lives. And so, when we're talking about action and action that stems from gratitude, that's a true representation of it because you're grateful, but you're actually showing it through your actions. So, like, we give the example of someone who is grateful for having all their limbs, right?
Yeah.
You have all your limbs, and you can be grateful for it, and just say, well, other people have it worse. At least I have my limbs intact.
Yeah.
And then
At least.
yeah, you start off with that at least, so you're at that level of like this is the minimum, this is what I'm grateful for. But then you don't go out and do anything with it. You just say at least I'm grateful for this, but you go off and you do dumb shit. You don't make the best use of your limbs. You're not using them to provide service or do good things for other people.
Yes.
You're just wasting it away. And so, that's an example of you just saying that you're grateful for a very minimum, but then not going out and doing anything with it.
Oh.
Kind of like to excuse yourself from like your bad decisions that have led you up to a certain point that where you even got yourself to say, oh, well, at least I have my limbs. At least I have my family. At least I have this. It's like, yeah, in a sense that's gratitude, but I believe true gratitude stems from the action to actually do something with those things that you have.
Yeah, no, and I think too, one thing to hit on that is emphasizing the at least part, right? You probably went into a mode of thinking back in life, okay, well, this led me here, but could have gone worse. At least I'm grateful for this. Well, now saying that at least, you're kind of affirming out into whatever you believe in God. Guys, God, creator, universe. You're kind of affirming, at least he's okay with the minimal. And we were kind of thinking, okay, but isn't that like the opposite of what abundance is?
Yes.
So what are ways to counteract the at least of it? And I guess with Harvey's example, you can keep on finishing it.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, basically that, like you said, like it's a sign that you're just okay with always ever receiving the minimum, with always being content with where you're at, when deep down you know that maybe your situation could be a little better, that you actually do have control over it, and that you can change it. So, instead of being the person that says, oh, well, at least I'm grateful for all this, like you have all the same reasons for being grateful as a homeless person does. Maybe they get, shelter for a week, grateful. Maybe they get food for that week, it's grateful. These are very like, on Maslow's hierarchy, they're the lowest, food, shelter, water, clothing, things like that. So very, very bare minimums. And if you're only ever content with bringing yourself to that least, to kind of like self-comfort yourself in a bad situation, say, oh, well, at least I have that, but you don't do anything to get out of that current situation, you're not actually grateful. Because there's people who, if they were in your position and they could do something about it, they would. Because no one wants to just stay in a survival mode. You want to stay and you want to eventually be able to thrive.
You want to thrive, guys.
Not
You want
just
to thrive,
survive.
and that's the difference too. Let's emphasize that. Maybe that should be the title.
Oh.
Survive. Wait, don't survive.
Don't survive.
But thrive. Something like that.
Something like that. We'll figure that out.
But yeah, you're right when you say that, because tying in the point that's okay, well, I have all my limbs. That's something I should be grateful for, right, guys? Yes, it is. Okay, but now what are you gonna do with these limbs? Okay, I'm grateful to have all my limbs. So I'm going to use this energy that I'm grateful for having all my limbs to go exercise, to go work out, to go put these limbs to use because I have them. So now you're affirming even more by using whatever thing you're saying that you're grateful for to lead you into some sort of action. So that counteracts the at least.
Yeah, exactly. Because now you're taking yourself out of the at least, and instead of always residing at the at least and the minimum, you're saying, okay, I have this. I'm grateful and I'm so thankful that I have this, that in fact, I'm going to go do something with it. I'm going to go create. I'm going to go be of service to others. I'm going to go put intention behind the work that I do for other people. Like you said, exercise, treat my body with respect, give it the fuel and stuff that it needs.
Exactly.
So you took it from just being like a self-comforting in a state of like maybe like depression or like weather would get you down or things would get you down. Yeah, you go from like a situation where like, damn, life sucks, but at least I have this. And then you always say like that, not knowing that the things that you're grateful for can propel you to get out of that, sucky environment or whatever it is you're complaining about in the first place.
Exactly. So, and I think you're actually putting what you say you're grateful for into use. So it's not like, oh, well, at least I'm grateful for it, and then that's it, right?
Yeah.
You're counteracting it and emphasizing the importance of the action behind it. And I think, like we say, everyone talks about taking action. Everyone talks about take it quickly, take it fast. It's more important to do that than start to get trapped into the mindset of, paralysis by analysis, not sure what to do.
Yeah.
You think about moments where, oh, I'm grateful for this phone, right? You can just think about that. There's so many people that have phones and you don't have a phone, right?
Yeah.
And you think about, okay, I'm grateful for it. Okay, what can I do for this phone to create, to be of service, to help? Okay, well, what if you just start posting content about mental health? You never know where that could have went, guys. You can help someone that's going through that certain emotion that you are now. You can speak from experience, and hopefully that leads to helping someone.
Yeah, that's a beacon of light for other people.
Exactly, and that's using what you're grateful for to cultivate motivational momentum to do something.
Yeah, and actually tying that with action, because yeah, like there's so many people who are probably just on autopilot. Everyone has phones, and no one really takes the time to be grateful. Say, dang, I actually have a phone. Okay, cool. That's a starting point. Like, yeah, at least you have a phone. Other people don't. But are you actually going to show that you're grateful for it by doing something, with it, by actually providing something with it? And so I think like true gratitude is, taking action on these things. It's like we gave the example too of like eyesight yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Like we gave the example of eyesight, and to the person who just says, "Oh, I'm grateful that I am at least able to see," because there's other people out there who can't see. And then you say that, but then you're out here, you're not using your eyesight to the best of it. You're not actually grateful for it because you waste it on things like porn. You go on your screen time and you spend 8 hours staring at a screen. Whereas the blind person, if they were to get their eyesight back, they'd be exploring, they'd be trying, they want to see the entire world, through their own eyes. And you're out here saying, oh, well, at least I have this. And then you go off and do, all this useless stuff with your eyesight. You do things that you're not attaching the gratitude to the action that could be happening. So
that's true.
So you don't ever want to say, well, at least I have this, and then go off and do whatever the fuck you want. It's like, well, at least I have this. That's very good. But, let me go and actually make use out of it.
Yeah, let me affirm that I'm actually grateful for it.
Yes, then action is actually a gratitude affirmer, because you're going and you're doing stuff with it. Like you're going up, maybe you're taking a hike. You're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm grateful for this. Let me go and take this hike. And then you take in the fresh air. You look over at the sights. You enjoy nature. You're actually, using it to its fullest extent.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. You're appreciating being able to see. You're appreciating, being able to go out and look at the views. And I think that's something different that you probably wouldn't have done if you didn't start to think about the things that you were grateful for. So I think that's why gratitude is the first one leading on. One thing too I remember that we mentioned was, okay, the people that say at least, say at least have eyesight, tragic accident happens. Well, now you don't have eyesight. What are you grateful for now? Is there another thing that you're gonna be grateful for? I guess that's like a very emphasizing on, use it if you really are grateful for it, because it can be taken away in any moment.
That was the emphasis too. Like you might as well use it, because you never know if it'll be you or if it's someone you love or someone nearby. So you want to emphasize that to yourself, to others, and you want to actually show appreciation for the things that you have while you have them. Be able to use them, because you don't know if you'll lose them in the future, or if maybe you're not as capable. And so using it now while you have it, yes, gratitude grounds you to the present. But if your present is something that, you're not content with, if you know that you can make more out of yourself, if you can, maybe increase your financial situation in a better way, have better relationships and friendships, that you could be capable of doing more than what you currently are, then do it while you have these things. And that's true gratitude for the person you are, for the things that you have. That's true gratitude. And there was even this other example we touched on with with family, right? How did that one start? Do you remember? With, at least I have my family around me.
Yeah.
Friends and loved ones, and that's just the present. Like you don't know if that can change in the future, and most certainly will. But okay, you have them there. Oh, at least I have this around me. It's like, okay, but like, and then what? Like what are you going to do with that?
You're making me think of something too that kind of, maybe it's a new thing that we can tie into this too, actually. It's from Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk. And that you're reminding me of right now is leading on to the at least my family, and then, okay, they're there for this moment. Okay, now you can take the part where it's not only just for them, but it's also to help improve yourself, you can say, okay, what is the attribute of someone that actually cares for a family member or wants to express love? You know, you can say, oh, I'm an appreciative, loving person. So that's why I'm taking this at least and changing it to becoming a loving and appreciative person by letting my family members know, hey, I appreciate you. Hey, I love you. Hey, you know, do a deed for them. Hey, you know, anything like
action,
that. So
yeah.
you're taking action. But now from Jay Shetty's book that I'm tying this in is you want to become better, but not just, you know, for them because they can, you know, do whatever. But you want to first affirm that you want to have the attribute of a person that's like that. So not only if maybe they're not in the picture anymore, you know, that could be with a relationship too. For an example, like you want to be a better, you know, significant other. You're gonna take on the attributes of a person that's supporting, a person that cares, a person that, you know, take on the attributes and become that person instead of just, you know, doing it for the moment of what it is. So that you take that with you and lead it with your life.
Yeah, because that's you forever. Because you're that person. It's not you're just doing it because that person's around and stops the moment that person's gone.
Exactly.
So I agree with that. And there's also this other thing you reminded me from that same book, where he talks about like the different kind of person you are for other people. It's like you can be all five of these things, you know, but on the priority list, there's different things. So like maybe you want to be the provider, the defender, the what was it, the mediator for the family. And he described these different. He's described all these different things about actions that you can be for family or loved ones or friends. And it's like, you know, it's not that you just have one. It's that everyone has a little bit of them in varying percentages. And so, like, let's say you want to be like the provider. You want to be able to do better. And it's like, yeah, you can say maybe like, okay, right now, you feel like it's your duty to get your family into a better position financially, with stability, security, more freedom, things like that. So you naturally have the inclination as a provider role, which, yeah, I took like kind of like that test alongside with the podcast I was listening to with Jay Shetty. And yeah, like I identified as like provider. I was like, I do want to be able to be this person for my family because I feel like that, you know, is like a very good baseline for everything else.
Yeah.
Other people have different things that vary and things that they prioritize. But for me, I resonated with that. And it's like, okay, if you want to be that person for your family, yeah, you know, you could say, well, dang, I'm not that person right now. And because I can't be that person right now, you know, then you get into the at least mentality and into the minimums mentality. It's like, well, at least they're here, you know, at least they're around and at least they're this. And some people comfort themselves and they stay there and they never actually do anything to change it despite knowing that they want to be better and they want to get out of those minimums, but they don't because, you know, they just keep saying, well, at least they're here and at least that.
Yeah.
And so and I identified with that. I was like, wait a second, you know, I don't want to be the person that just says, well, at least they're here, because like I am grateful that they are still here, alive and well. But eventually, it's going to come a point where they're not here, and I'd rather them live, you know, however many years they have left, through financial stability and security and things like that. And if I'm capable of providing that, you know, I'm not going to just say, at least they're here. I'm going to say I'm grateful that they're here. Because they're here, I want to make sure I do something with it. So I'm attaching the action. Because I know I can do so much more, and I'm much more capable of providing in another way. You know,
and I think those are ways to, you know, why now you even showed me something else too. Saying that, it's like we always emphasize fuel to our fires, fuel to your fire, guys, and that could be another fuel to your fire. And I guess this gratitude exercise could not only just lead you into action, but can also be a reason for you to continue whatever you're doing. Because you know it's for this.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's a fuel to your fire, and it's gonna continuously help you. Maybe in a dark moment. I know David Goggins emphasizes, you know, having a cookie jar. He calls it the cookie jar method. Oh, just think about a time when, you know, you conquered something, you did something good, and you take out, you know, that cookie from all those good moments and how you felt, and reminding yourself of, you know, what it took to get to where you are compared to where you were. And I think that's a huge thing that this practice can also lead on to. Yeah, it's like a web that I'm seeing it.
No, literally, because it starts with something, right? And it usually starts with the desire to change, right? And then like you kind of ground yourself using gratitude, but you don't want it to just be, you know, self-deprecating
or feeling okay with the minimal.
Yeah, and then so you take that and you use it. I was like, okay, I'm grateful for it, so let me demonstrate it with action to get myself out of, you know, a tough situation, or use that. So yeah, it is like a whole web that stems from like, yeah, literally self-awareness and like question, like, you know what? Instead of complaining about my environment, my situation, and where I'm at, I can do something about it. and at the same time realizing that I'm grateful that I do have the the ability to do something about it. And so through that, that channels all
And
this.
that channels all this.
It starts from there.
So we do challenge you guys. Anyone listening, viewing, go ahead and just support us by liking, commenting, and subscribing, or even leaving a review. If you feel kind enough today in the new year, go ahead,
That's
guys.
true.
5 stars would be preferred.
Yeah, 5 stars.
But with that being said, you could use this in your daily life. If you're listening to this, okay, think of a moment where you use at least, or where you want to express some gratitude. Where can I take action to lead me to affirm that gratitude? Because not only are you affirming gratitude, you're actually leading on to better. So you're not just okay with it. You're grateful but not satisfied. And I think that's one thing that Briven previously talked about, previous guests on the podcast. I think you worded it a little differently, but I'm sure it means the same. I think that's one thing to be emphasized in your lives, guys.
Yeah, like Mario said, check and see when you find yourself saying, well, at least this, at least that. And it's good to remind yourself that you do have some of the at least, but at the same time you don't want to say there, grateful but not satisfied. You don't want to just be content when you know that you're capable of so much more, that you know that you have the potential and the ability to do something while you still have your abilities. If you have all your 4 limbs, put them to good use. If you still have eyesight, if you're still intact, if you still have something that you can provide and do something to actually change your situation, instead of focusing on the at least, do something with it. Because there's someone who already doesn't have your basic minimums, and they would do everything in their power to change the situation if they were in your situation. There's people who truly can't really do much or output much and don't have these abilities, and they gladly would if they were in your position.
Wow.
So that's when it becomes true gratitude. You're like, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna do something about it instead of just complaining about my situation. I can do something about it. I have the ability to.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, I think that changes an attitude too. I think it changes about how you feel about whatever situation it is, because now you feel like, okay, now I'm leading towards something, and it feels better than just being like at least and kind of sitting back and hanging out like this. At least. Versus at least, but now I can and then I will and I will do.
Exactly.
And that's more like, taking it head on, right? Because it's emphasizing you have that ability to do it. Take the wheel, guys. Take the wheel. I think this is an exercise to show yourself that you're capable of taking the wheel and leading into something.
Yep. And after all, like we said, it does strengthen the why. Suddenly you have something. You're like, you start to, it's fuel to the fire, because now you wake up every morning. You're like, you have to remind yourself of it. You have to have it written down somewhere. You have to see it maybe on your lock screen or somewhere. It's like, this is what I'm working for. I want to get out of this at least mentality, and I know that I can provide more, and I can do more and be better, and I will. And I think that's what it's about. It's about just having that reminder, first thing in the morning, first thing before you start your day, like, what is it that I'm actually working towards here? Am I making the best use of my limbs? Am I making the best use of my eyesight, of my mouth, of my ability to speak? Am I saying
conscious thinking,
intentional thinking, all that stuff? Am I being kind towards others? Am I giving out compliments? Am I avoiding talking trash and gossiping about others? It's about all the abilities that we have. Let's use it in a positive way to actually build and create, rather than destroy ourselves and destroy other people.
Yeah.
So.
And I think this is a good New Year's in between Christmas, or I guess it's after Christmas, guy. But it's 2023 when you're listening to this already, actually. So I guess this is definitely a good exercise for the new year, and I know I've been using it ever since we talked about it, and it's because, and the thing is, I think as we record this, we had a whole conversation based on it, literally the day before, I think.
Yeah, literally.
And thoughts are just connecting, and it makes sense how you can just tie this into little daily things in your life. Where you're like, okay, what can I do now that I'm grateful? Well, now you have something to do, guys. So if there's always a moment where you're just like, what do I do? What do I do? I guess this is a good, maybe even, this is probably the minimal you could do, which is better than nothing, guys. And I think that's something too we should emphasize.
Yeah.
Because you can sit in it.
Yeah, exactly. You can sit in it, you can dwell in it, but gratitude, very important. We always emphasize it, but then literally, like you said yesterday, we realize that true gratitude stems from your actions. Like, are you actually expressing that? Are you actually doing something with it, rather than just going down a list, saying it, and then you go off and do whatever with your day? So yeah, just catch yourself, find it, when you talk like that, or when you are grateful for something, actually, let's see if the actions follow up with that gratitude.
Yeah, and honestly, leave a comment below. Tell us about your experience. Have you tried this exercise out? feel free to DM us on Instagram at Society Sucks TM with your stories, or comment down below, guys.
Exactly. That's it.
That's it, guys. Have a great New Year's. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Harvey.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, man. I wasn't recording the whole time, guys.
Oh,
Just
man.
kidding.
Could you imagine that?
Oh,
Hey,